How many here are interested in writing? Good. Anybody get published yet? That would be cool.
David Koronitz is an author and publisher with 3 fantasy novels to his credit. Today he's addressing a group of young writers at Penticton Secondary, hoping they can learn from his mistakes.
And the number one thing you need, especially in novel writing, is point of view. Okay? You really have to understand what point of view means. And if you're writing, say for instance, in first person, basically the point of view is always your main character. What you're writing about is what they think, what they see, what they smell. They don't know what other people are thinking.
He says coming up with a novel is a long process, a year of writing and another year to rewrite. David's advice is to start like he did, entering a writing contest and letting someone else judge your work.
Before you submit a story to a contest or even for a school project, get somebody else to read it. And if they don't find any mistakes, get somebody else. And when you find somebody that finds lots of mistakes in your work, they're probably a good person for you to go to now and get them to read your work. In response, Egelina cackled. Turning to the table, she poured a yellow powder from a dusty jar onto a chunk of brownish meat that had been almost indistinguishable from the table's surface. Using her knuckles as a pestle, she kneaded the powder into the meat. Once satisfied with her handiwork, she dropped the tainted meat through the top bars of the wolf's cage. In the 3 days since it had been caught in her trap, the animal had eaten nothing. It almost choked in an attempt to swallow the corrupted meat whole. Egelina waited patiently for the powder to do its work. It comes to you in bits and pieces. Sometimes it's a struggle. Like that one chapter I read, I basically just sat down and wrote it, all kaboom. And that's not the norm for me. Usually I will spend weeks on a chapter and struggle. Things just aren't right. What's wrong with it? And usually, I read somewhere that the chapters you have the most trouble with can turn out to be your best chapters.
One attending grade 10 student finds blogging online in a writing community really helps her progress.
It was really informative about how to write books and how not to get lost in writing it, and like putting the middle in the middle instead of accidentally putting it at the end.
That focus on a chapter. If you try to focus on a whole novel, which is what I did many years ago, you fail. Focus on something you can do, and a chapter. I mean, in a week I can do a chapter.
I'm writing a novel myself at the moment. It makes you more aware how much work is put into a single book and how long it takes in the process and how much you have to go through in order to get something that you love and something that you have created out into the world.
David's tour is part of the Raise a Reader program in the South Okanagan, which gifts each student a copy of the visiting author's work, as well as gifting the books into school libraries. For Go Okanagan, I'm Wayne McDougall in Penticton.